My name is Ian and welcome to Planted. Now in this video I'm going to give you a very brief summary of one of my most popular plants. It's called the Corkscrew Vine. You can see it here behind me, covered in flowers. Wonderful fragrance which you can't experience. But what makes this so special is look at the flower architecture. They start off very tight and compact, and gradually this spiral opens and you get this, and that opens to this. Now these plants flower from mid-May right the way through until September. A beautiful fragrance. It does need a winter temperature of 50 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. So I plant it out in the springtime, late spring, and I dig it up and I put it into my greenhouse. But you have to find this. It's a beautiful plant, well worth having. It's called the Corkscrew Vine, or Vigna caracalla, or Cochliasanthus caracalla. I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but this is where that Latin name really helps you. Make sure you get the right plant. There are a number of plants called the Corkscrew Vine. This is the one that you want. This is the plant that I dug up last late September, early October, and I've overwintered it in my greenhouse, and it looks a little bit sad, but it's started to put out shoots, and naturally all of the energy goes to the very tips, but it's now putting out side shoots. And the benefit of a vine is that it puts on growth rapidly. So although this looks a bit straggly now, I'm very confident it will come back, I'm very confident it will have flowers this year. So if you can do, this is a plant that you should dig up, stick in your basement, and overwinter it. Now I'm lucky in that this plant set some seeds last summer, and I was able to keep a whole bunch of them on the plant and let them naturally mature. And this is them. They're quite large, the seed pods, and we're going to operate on them and make them grow. And with the magic of some fancy camera work, you too can follow along, and I'm going to give you the step-by-step practice to do this job. Now when you get a seed like this, a seed pod that's ripe, and you twist it, it might suddenly release tension, and that's the plant firing its seeds across, in this case, the greenhouse or further afield. So be careful. You might want to put down a piece of newspaper so that should they lose your grasp, you can easily get them. I'm lucky that I've got quite a few seed pods, so if a few of them do miss, not the end of the world. Have a pot of warm water, not hot, not cold, just warm, and you want to drop them in there and leave them in there for 2 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. And all this is going to do is help them swell up, take on moisture, which in turn will help speed up the germination process. It's very important that you do this. Sowing it dry, it just extends that germination process. Now this is my tray. I've had it on the propagator for a few days, so this soil mix, this potting mix that's in this tray is nice and warm. It's not cold, and there are two things that will make a big difference. If you have dry seed going into cold potting mix, it's a very, very slow process. I've got pre-soaked seed going into warm potting mix, and you can see here that they're already starting to swell up and expand. So we are, I wouldn't say we're tricking the system, we're using information and techniques that we know will work to help us get germination. Now, this is a very interesting story, I think. In the back, you see you've got those 6 cuttings. I've grown hundreds of figs from cuttings. These failed, and the reason they failed is that they were taken too late. A friend of mine was keen to get some fig cuttings, and these were cut in early February rather than late December. It meant that they had some severe cold on them and they lost their vitality. So live and learn. Do things at the right time and it really is so much easier. So those fig cuttings are no good, doesn't matter. We'll put these swollen seeds of the Cochliasanthus and get them tucked up, ready for them to germinate. I really do enjoy messing around with seeds. It's a patient job, but when you do it properly and they start to germinate, it's because of your actions. I mean, that's it. It's because of what you did. Many people, I think, plant seeds too deep. These seeds, I would call them medium size. They're by no means small, but they're not large. So as a rule of thumb, they want to be the depth of the seed buried under the soil surface. And the way I do this is I filled my tray here, my seedling tray, put the seed on top, and then come along and just very gently press them in. Make sure that you don't get seeds stuck to the end of your apparatus that you see here. And sometimes when the seed gets wet, it'll go sticky. This is a sign that the plant is in fact taking in water, and it's reducing that prohibitive germination coat that is around the seedling. And then just a little bit of firming in on all surfaces. We're not pressing hard. And ideally you've got one seed in every single one of those pockets. Now I just did maybe 10 seeds at that far end to show you. We put the lid back on it again, put it back onto our little propagator. There's videos about this propagator. It's wonderful. Timer, bulb, aluminum plate or aluminium plate, and we're off to the races. All right, let's try something a little bit different. Now I've got a huge source of these seeds. I'm spoilt for choice. And rather than just give the seeds away, let's try and germinate some. It may be that I give away germinated plants rather than seeds. So fast and dirty, I'm clearing out all of the seeds out of these pods and going to give them another germination. Sorry, I'm going to give them another bath so that they can get properly hydrated. Seeds are fascinating. If they're a wet, heavy seed, then the chances of them being carried a distance when the seed opens is quite minimal. So it's in the seeds, to the seed's benefit, that when the seeds open, the seeds are light and get blown away. But if they're light, they then have to rehydrate. That's what we do by soaking them and giving them the care and attention that they require. In this tray, in this pot, there's maybe 30 seeds, probably a few more than that. I don't want them all to grow. If I could get 10 or 15, that would be great. But here's another little trick. With a very, very fine sieve, you can take your coarse mix, give it a little bit of a shake. You can just put a little light coating over your seeds. Now the way that flows is because it's bone dry, which is good. We get a nice even layer. The problem then is that you have to rehydrate it. So use whatever you want to kind of make it level. And here we're going to see an example of hydrophobia. The dry mix we just added is absolutely bone dry. And it takes time for added hydration to be absorbed into that mix. And you'll see here how the spray, you think it's going in. I mean, it looks good. Up there, just a little bit. You see where it starts to repel the water. So this needs to be done a number of times. You go back, spray it, do it again, spray it, and gradually you can rehydrate that surface. It's important that this is, there it is, you just see it kind of opening up as the dryness pushes away the water. You want to make sure that your seed is prehydrated and your mix is prehydrated. And here we go. Here's the pot. We've got a number of germinations. Some of the larger plants germinated first, and then a second flush came through with some more plants. That may be down to temperature, hydration issues. And then here we have the propagator that's had this nice steady heat. And yet again here we've got 3 that are larger, and then there's a whole bunch that are smaller. But I'm deliberately showing you this because what we have is, you can see how the seed has pushed through our potting mix and is now on the surface. That is not optimal. And this is what happens when seeds grow, a root grows, and that can push the seed out, which makes it more likely for the plant to fail. But we've got that caught here because we're in a potting tray. And here we have the beautiful flowers. This is what all the fuss is about. This is the Cochliasanthus or Vigna plant, the corkscrew vine, looking just beautiful. And you even get some ants to watch too. That's it. Bye for now.